look who finally decided to make a video after a very long time. So I decided to open this like account and like, what's this channel called now? CrownlessKing? Like, you know, I went to the thing and it says CrownlessKing's TV. Like, what? Somebody hacked this account or something?
Yeah.
What, like, again?
Yeah.
Like this 3 times now, man. Like Droji-san, and then what was that? Blah, Steven or whatever it was. It's like this guy's going through an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Right? So what's up, guys? This is Steven, formerly known as Joji-san, but Kyrie asked me July 1st, Irving decided to freaking take it upon himself and beat Kobe against the Bulls. Well, not really. I didn't want to get sued because if I ever get big, you know, he might sue me for using Uncle Drew, and it is in Japanese, like Joji-san is Uncle Drew in Japanese. Also called myself Manong Steven, but I really didn't like the name at the end, so I decided to come up with a new channel for this name, new name for this channel. So for the 3rd time, I decided to rename this channel, the CrownlessKing's TV, and I'll probably explain that in another video, as well as like why I was gone for 3 months and my plans for now, because I'm gonna properly address that in another video. So if you read the title of this video, yes, you read it right. We're already at the end of the 2018-19 season because the NBA Finals are about to start. Can you believe that? Like, it felt like yesterday I was making predictions for you guys, but it's already here. So before I get to my predictions and talking about the series and stuff, let's do a recap of my predictions from the beginning of the season and stuff. So here we go. So let's start off with the Eastern Conference. The top seed I chose is the Boston Celtics. Their starting 5 is one of the best in the NBA, if not the best. They're right there along with the Warriors, probably. I think that's the only team that I can compare them to. Bench is also ridiculously deep and it's very talented with Rozier. And I see the Celtics beating the Sixers again. Let's go to the West really quick. And the top seed, I mean, it's easy. It's going to be the Golden State Warriors again. They weren't last year, but I think they will be again this year. And they upgrade at center, obviously, DeMarcus Cousins. And this is going to be the last season and their last season at Oakland, so I expect them to be fully motivated and put on a show for them. The conference finals, I'm going to say the Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers. We got the Celtics in the East and the Warriors in the West. I'm going to pick the Celtics to win it all.
Man, I'm dead.
So, to summarize all of that up, is I have decided to retire from talking about basketball. So, goodbye guys, I'm just gonna stick to whatever I'm doing. So as y'all have seen, you're probably thinking right now, this guy should just quit talking about basketball because you're so freaking stupid. So looking at all these teams, it's really unfortunate why they didn't make it to this point. So for one, I look at the Celtics, the team I followed the most and I'm a fan of. I could make another video breaking down the major problems that they had, but if I was gonna sum all of it up, it's just they all have themselves to blame, the coaching staff, the players, because the problems that they had them under their control. Like, they could very easily make it the finals right now if they look deeper within themselves and like got together collectively as a team, and that's really the biggest thing for them. And for the Lakers, it's really more unfortunate for them because injuries like ruined their chemistry and stuff outside the basketball court. It's just a mess. So now let's look at how both of these teams made it to this point, the NBA Finals. For Golden State, their first round matchup was against the LA Clippers, and it took them 6 games to beat them. And that Clippers team was really hard-nosed, and what really lost in the series was that they lacked stars, and they didn't really have a star. And Golden State had 5 and then 4 because Cousins went down. Then in the second round, Golden State met the Houston Rockets in a rematch of last year's conference finals. But this time they won in 6 games, and like many thought last year, whoever won this series was going to win the NBA championship, and the series was won by Golden State. Simply because I thought Houston made more mistakes at the end situationally, like who was going to get the ball, James Harden or Chris Paul, like that kind of stuff. But the win for the Warriors came at a cost because they've lost Kevin Durant then, and they still don't have him now in Game 5 with the right calf strain, so he's not going to be available at least for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and he might miss more time too. And then in the conference finals, it was the Curry Bowl, Seth versus Steph, or as I call it, the Curry Derby.
Shut the up!
So the Golden State Warriors met with the Portland Trailblazers again for the third time in 4 years, and it was a sweep, but it was a really competitive sweep. It took really all-time performances from Steph Curry and Draymond Green, especially in those last two games. Like, Draymond turned back the clock. Now for the Raptors, in their first round matchup, they met with the Orlando Magic in 5, who won the first game, and then they ended up sweeping the rest of the series. And then they played the Philadelphia 76ers in a thrilling, intense 7-game conference semifinal that was concluded by probably the greatest playoff series ending buzzer beater since Michael Jordan versus Cleveland in 1989. I think that's the year, right? So Kawhi attempts like a fadeaway over the outstretched arms of Embiid, and then the 4 bounces heard not only around Canada but around the world was heard. And that sends Toronto in a date in the conference semifinals against the Milwaukee Bucks. So this ends up becoming the matchup billed as the matchup between two of the best players, not only the East, but possibly the NBA, unless you're a LeBron James fan. It was billed as the Greek Freak versus the Claw, or the Man Who Bleeds Freon, or the Terminator, whatever Kawhi's nickname is. So it was a matchup of Giannis versus Kawhi, where I thought Giannis ended up getting exposed. So for Giannis, it revealed to me that he was too reliant on his athleticism and trying to physically impose his will on the opponent. The biggest weakness right now in Giannis's game is not having a jump shot, and the Raptors took advantage of that by, for stretches, they played zone. And that ended up being really the bane for Milwaukee, although like other players stepped up, but it was all for naught. And as for Kawhi, his performances repeatedly, like he was playing basically on one leg or half a leg, because I think both of his knees got hurt. And his performances for the Eastern Conference Finals is just the icing on the buzzer-beating cake that he made against Philadelphia. So like always in any finals, there's always going to be this underlying narrative that the media tries to spin that we all feed into, and this finals is no different. Toronto, for one, is going to be their first finals appearance, and they got there without ever encountering LeBron James, but still, that doesn't take away from the fact that they got here, because the teams that they face, I think, are tougher than any of the LeBron James teams that they faced over the past couple of years. Like, Giannis and the Bucks are a much improved team. You got the Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Philadelphia team that improved with their supporting cast like Jimmy Butler, and I shouldn't really call him that because he's actually a much greater player than that. For Golden State, they're going for a three-peat, and it's going to be their 5th straight finals appearance as well. And also, if you guys haven't been paying attention, this is their last season in Oakland and in Oracle Arena. So they definitely are motivated, I think, to win a ring and put a banner up in their new arena in San Francisco come next season, the start of next season. So, and for Kawhi, obviously he has a lot of history with the Warriors, being the fact that he was a San Antonio Spurs player. And if you guys recall, in game 1 of the 2017 Western Conference Finals, before he fell injury to that dirty play by Zaza, Golden State, I think, had a 23-point lead before he went down, and they very easily could have put up a fight against the Warriors and possibly even be the champions that season. So, and just like the Raptors versus Bucks or the Rockets versus Warriors series, it's going to be another matchup between two great players, and it's a team sport, I know that, but we all get caught up and we all want to see what happens when two players match up, and it's going to be between Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. And obviously KD's hurt. We don't know if he's going to play in the finals. I think he will, because it's the finals. Everybody's hurt. Why would you quit at this point? So these two players, Kawhi and KD, are probably putting up the best performances sans LeBron James ever since he stepped in the league. So whoever comes out a champion, and balls out for that matter, will probably have a good claim as to who the best player is in the league, although I still think LeBron James has something to say about that. But they'll definitely have a claim. And this will definitely settle who the second best player in the NBA is, because, you know, Giannis has gone beaten by Kawhi, and you still got KD here. It's definitely going to be a great matchup between the two of them. So like I said, both teams are banged up. For Golden State, KD has been gone since late in Game 5 of their matchup against the Rockets in the semis, and Boogie Cousins has been gone since Game 3 of their matchup with the Clippers in the first round. But that has seemed to bring the Warriors back to life and gave them some extra motivation. They kind of look like Golden State Warriors before KD signed with them, where there's a lot of ball movement. The ball is like going around at a really fast tempo. It's certainly breathed new life into Steph Curry, but Draymond Green has also turned back the clock. Like I said, he had 2 triple doubles to close their series out against the Blazers, the Western Conference Finals. So this is going to be a very tough matchup for them because I think they're playing at a faster tempo and the ball's moving a lot faster. So while this Warriors team looks like the team that won 73 games in 2016, the bench isn't as deep as it used to be with KD and Boogie Cousins being gone. So the rotation's a lot more tighter and players are going to be a lot more tired, mainly their starters. So it's definitely going to be a tougher out for them against the Raptors, who definitely have the deeper bench at this point. So while I do hold that opinion on the Raptors bench for this series, I think there is still a lack of a consistent second option behind Kawhi Leonard. For long stretches in these playoffs, it looked like he carried the Raptors on his back. I look at Game 7 against the Sixers, for example, where I believe he took over 30 shots and his teammates were moving the ball around like it was a hot potato. Almost afraid to take a jump shot or overly afraid to make some mistakes and live with it. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, those first 2 games in Milwaukee, it was almost like the Raptors were a disaster unfolding before our eyes. And while this supporting cast has come alive as of late, like new father Fred VanVleet, who after his son was born is like shooting the lights out, and Kyle Lowry, who's notorious for choking the playoffs, is starting to put up some decent performances, especially in this Bucks series, and Serge Ibaka has finally arrived at the second turnaround game in Toronto, and Game 5, the Bucks still stops with Kawhi. So if he isn't putting up Herculean performances, they're not going to stand a chance against the Warriors, and that's why there needs to be a second option that they can go to consistently in order for them to have a better chance against the Warriors. So that being said, the X factor for Toronto is going to be Pascal Siakam. When the first round, he looked like the Scottie Pippen, Kawhi Leonard's Michael Jordan. But after that, it almost seemed like he disappeared. And again, like, he's one of those hot potato players in Game 7 against the Sixers, and in Game 6, like that closeout game against the Bucks, he looked like he didn't want a piece of the ball. Like, this guy is the one guy that needs to step up next to Kawhi Leonard. Maybe Kyle Lowry too, but I look at Siakam and like, he needs to be the Pascal Siakam of the regular season. And for Golden State, I'm going to pick Kevin Durant. And I know what you're thinking, why are you picking like their best player on the team as the X factor? Well, for one, he's going to miss Game 1, and who knows how many more games he's going to miss. If he does play, he's going to be less than 100%. And even though Kevin Durant, that's less than 100%, is still a good player, he's still an unknown variable as far as the Warriors are concerned. You can also say Boogie Cousins, who's questionable for Game 1, he can be a factor. But I don't think so. I think he's going to be a liability on the defensive end, especially because those Raptor bigs can't stretch the floor. When he gets pulled out to the perimeter to defend, he has been exposed at times by certain teams. So that being said, let me get to my prediction finally. So this Raptors team definitely has the personnel and the length and the versatility to defend against an offense like Golden State. However, no offense in the NBA is like the Golden State Warriors offense. And while the presence of Kevin Durant does improve the team and does present its own challenges, with what we've seen with the roster without him, that's a problem that any team would be okay with, I think. So, with the information I've gathered and all the data that I have collected, I, Steven of CrownlessKing TV, declares the NBA champion to be... And I'm also going to pick them to win in 6 games, and I do think that Toronto will win Game 1 because they present a different type of challenge than the Portland Trail Blazers, and they're a much better basketball team than them. Outside of Kawhi, however, I don't see the rest of the Raptors carrying their performances over to the road once the series turns around to Oakland. Oracle Arena in the playoffs is probably the toughest play to play in, I think, if you're a player in the NBA, and a lot of these Raptors haven't been to the finals, and I think that's going to be a huge difference maker. And again, I'm of the opinion that Kevin Durant will play in this finals, and less than 100% of him is more than enough. I think with the talent that they have, there are definitely spots that are going to be open for him. So the Warriors have more than enough in their saddlebag in order to win this championship. And as for Finals MVP, with Kevin Durant being out, missing a game or possibly more, I think this is the time that Stephen Curry finally wins his Finals MVP. So Steph Curry will be my pick for Finals MVP. So that's gonna do it for my predictions for this year's NBA Finals, and who knows, now the Raptors are probably gonna win because I picked them to lose, and so far I picked the Celtics to win, and look where they ended up, right? So let me know what your predictions are in the comment section below, and you're picking to win, and who the Finals MVP is gonna be, and stuff like that. And also be sure to hit that like button if you like this video and to support this channel, and also hit the subscribe button if you want to be a king today. I think that's what I'm gonna call my fans now, the subscribers, the Crownless Kings. And I don't know, maybe I'll put up a nickname for all of you, what type of king you're gonna be, because I'm the Crownless King, right? So that's gonna do it. I'm Steven from Crownless Kings. I'll see you guys in the next video. Finally, I'm back. Thank you for watching.